Okay. So far, I'm impressed with the system that you've just introduced. There are so many things that are not in our system. I think they are more user friendly, especially that asking opportunity, to ask questions and get answers right away. If you are put on the spot, I think that is a very helpful um, part of the system. There are things that are more domiciliary. I've done domiciliary before, and they will be very, very vital in the domiciliary sector, especially the tracking, monitoring of sites and locations. That is fantastic with domiciliary. But with supported living, some of the things that we are most likely to be dealing with, um, some of them they are within the system but not separated as the system that we are using now. For instance, we have what we call an inbox. Now that inbox is used to communicate with staff for let's say emergencies or things you want them to do. Normally, I use them to ask staff to go to a certain client within the building or ask certain question to a client, or if I am telling them about issues of concern, which is Mr. So and so's room is quite dirty. Can you please, try and get in there and help him to tidy up? So that is the use of the inbox, which only management and staff can see it, not third parties. We also have daily task, which is part of the system that you just explained. But what is in our system is more of a domiciliary aspect of it, because the daily task involve, when you are at a call, the feeding that you do, the toning of residents if they are bedbound, how much meal they've eaten. We don't do those things because we don't even for them. The idea of supporting living is to help them to be more independent. So we guide, we support them, we prompt them to do these things, but we don't actually do it for them. So I mean, those tasks fantastic for domiciliary, but not very helpful on supported living, especially the one that we're doing. We also have what I call daily notes. You call it daily task. Again, the difference there is your system would facilitate recording information and then copy it and paste it as notes. And our system is such that the daily notes are only used at the end of the shift, where you just summarize every individual service user, how he was like during your shift, what happened to him, what observation you've done, have they taken their medication? Again, they are drug addicts as well. So do they appear high on drugs, their behavior during the day? So that is where the daily notes is vital for supported living, because it just tells the manager how the individual resident was behaving throughout the shift. So sometimes even they might need antipsychotic PRN. So if you give it, we'll be able to know that you've given it to them for what reason. That also need to be recorded on the daily notes. We also have setup, which is the care plan, and the pre-admission. If you have a new resident, how you record them in the system, and I'm sure you have that in your system as well. As new residents, what is their care plan telling the staff to do? How do you allocate their hours? How do you allocate them to staff? Again, one thing a bit different is we don't allocate residents to staff per se as an individual. What we have is 5 residents in a building to be staff to be looked after by 2 staff. in the morning and 2 staff at night. So the 2 staff are responsible for all the 5 residents. So if you know what I mean, not individual. So even if you are doing the rota, you don't have to specifically, put a staff to a to to a resident per se, but a staff to the building. Okay, so
that's like residential, right?
Yeah, it's residential.
Yeah. The system can also account for residential as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is this is the same. To be honest, I can use this one. Exactly as we are using this one. So but again, just in case it might be helpful that if you are doing the domiciliaries aspect of things, and if you are doing the supported living, even supported living, some homes, with learning disabilities and so on, they are allocated to specific residents. You see, so there are 2 ways of operating these things. Some, if they are really challenging, some of them even need 1-to-1, some of them need to 2-to-1, and so on, because of the nature of those residents. But the aspect of supported living we're doing are for those who are stabilized from the hospital, and the aim is to help them with their daily activities of living so that they can live independently. You see, normally we don't have that. Those challenging 1-to-1s, 2-to-1s, they are not. They don't fit the criteria for the type of supported living that we are providing. Because if they are too challenging, obviously they either go to more restricted areas, where they can be looked after by two staff or even 3 staff sometimes, or so that they can restrain them when necessary. We don't do restraining. So it is a second level of service, compared to challenging behavior or autism, where obviously if you have 5 residents, you cannot put two staff for 5 residents who have different behavior, different activities throughout the day. So yeah, but again, it's very useful. We are just operating this way, but that doesn't mean this is how we're gonna be continuing in the long term, because otherwise we wouldn't have residents. So at some point we will be having challenging ones where you would need 2-to-1 or even 3-to-1. I'm just trying to give you, how you can separate, your system to suit, varieties of needs, not only domiciliary and the type of supported living where you have 1-to-1, 2-to-1, the staff have to match the number of residents and so on. With the daily task, instead of having the feeding and the washing, the personal care, we hardly do that. The level that we go through those things is just to prompt them, go and have a shower, because they can do it themselves. Sometimes they are self-neglect. You can do it, prompting them all day, all week, and they will say, yes, I will, and they will never do it. So we need to be recording those things that, prompted, refuse, prompted, refuse, prompted, oh, finally did it today. So that's how we monitor them, rather than I've been there, I've given him a wash, help him to dress and so on. Those things are not activities that we do. So yeah, but I mean, the items that you have, which are very helpful, which we don't have here, includes the trainings. I mean, the way you monitor staff trainings. Something that was in my mind that I forgot, that was very convincing. I did mention about the question and answer. Your care plan also is very good, because I mean you all the details are there, and whenever you want some information about the care plan, you don't have to read the whole care plan. You just ask that aspect and it will bring it up. That is helpful to the manager, because if you ask me what happened to John yesterday, I have to read all the daily notes just to find out actually what happened to John. So if it is John, Mary, and Peter, that takes me long to be able to arrive to that information. But with your system, it's just take it and it will bring it up, and that save time, save money, obviously. Help this to the manager if he is put on the spot. What is Michael's weight for the last 2 weeks? I have to go to records to find that out. So your system, I assume, will be able to just, ask the question, and you would have the weight possibly for the whole week. So yeah, those are really positive things that I think, if you talk to Tan, yeah, I think she might consider it, definitely.
So basically, you say you are comfortable with the AI feature whereby you can ask a specific question about a staff, a
Yes.
policy, or a service user,
Yeah.
and then you get real-time answers
Yes.
instead of checking so many documents at the same time.
Yes, to get those answers. Yes.
All right. So what about the sentiment analysis, whereby you can be able to track, for instance, a period of 1 week, 1 month, and then you'll be able to see the behavioral patterns of the service user.
Again, maybe that was what I was thinking, because that's also another fantastic thing we don't have here. Like I said, there are some things that are not in the system. I would say in any system, to be honest. I've dealt with quite a lot of systems because I manage different places, and there are lots of systems right now, from People's Planner to the Ramsey that we're using to God knows how many. But how specific and how what's the word I'm looking for? You know, direct on the spot kind of information that you can extract is something that is missing in most of the other systems that I've used.
Okay, it's all right. I really appreciate your feedback and inputs.
Mm-hmm.
To go a long way. But I would like to assure you that most of the things you talked about can actually be done by the system.
Yes.
Do you understand? For instance, the support level, even for residential, because the system is also built for residential, such that even if there's no complex staffing like 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, like maybe 5 service users to 1 staff, the system can also account for that. So the main thing about this system is that it combines what already exists and then also have some innovative factors that are not already existing in the market. So in such a way that instead of using fragmented tools, you can have everything in one, and then you can also have an AI feature whereby you can ask any question and then it gives you answers without you stressing yourself.
And even the inbox, I think it's not WhatsApp, but similar to WhatsApp. That is even more.
The chat system.
The chat system. I think that overrides the inbox. Now, again, I'm just showing you what we have in here, but that doesn't mean that I am trying to say less about the system. Everything that I've mentioned here is in the system in a different way. It's just how you train us. If times then go through it, we will tell you what exactly we want, and I'm sure you'll be able to tweak here and there, and then we'll be able to have it perfectly.
All right, thank you very much. But I would like to ask, from what you've heard so far from what we did, like the demo, do you is this a software you recommend to healthcare providers, and is this something you like to use?
Yes, I can recommend it to healthcare providers, and obviously if I was controlling the POS, I might have to start it tomorrow. But I don't control the POS.
All right, okay. All right. So what is the next step from now?
Because when Tintino told me about it, I said, discuss it with Tan, because like I said, regardless of how much I like it, I mean, it's the director who will decide to purchase it or to deal with you. But he said he spoke to Tan and Tan asked him to show me the demo to convince me before giving the feedback back to her. So what I'm telling you now is give her back the feedback that you showed me the demo and I'm impressed. So if she wants to go ahead with it, it's all good things from me. I would say yes, go ahead. Yeah, but again, the final decision is entirely in her hands.
It's all right, no problem. So, like, will you give me some time that's maybe when you've spoken with him and when to get back to me in terms of like feedback?
Yes, I can talk to her. I can. My understanding is she's out of town since on Friday. So I'm not sure when she's coming back. But yeah, if she comes, I will discuss it with Tintino. So maybe together, we might be able to, convince her.
All right, okay. Yeah. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's all right. Okay, thank you very much. See you later.
You're welcome. Bye.